most men never talk about. Not the breakup. Not the argument. Not the day she leaves. The moment before that. The moment you realize your mood depends on whether she texted back. The moment your whole body tightens because her tone changed by 3 degrees. The moment you hear yourself saying, "Maybe I'm overthinking," while your entire day is already bleeding out through a screen. That is the moment you start disappearing. And most men don't lose themselves in one dramatic collapse. They lose themselves weeks first. Then clarity. Then sleep. Then standards. Then one day they wake up and realize they have built their entire emotional life around someone else's attention. Here's the truth nobody says out loud: the world does not train men to be strong. It trains them to be useful, agreeable, easy to manage, easy to guilt, easy to replace. It teaches them to confuse emotional dependency with love, overexplaining with honesty, self-abandonment with loyalty. It rewards performance, not presence. It rewards compliance, not character. And if you're not careful, you end up living like a polished hostage, well-spoken, emotionally available, deeply exhausted. So this video is not about controlling anyone. It's about something harder. Harder, because nobody can do it for you. It's about taking your mind back. Your standards back. Your peace back. Your name back. Because when a man loses himself trying to be chosen, everybody can feel it. And when a man finally returns to himself, everybody can feel that too. In this video, we're going to break this down in 4 parts. First, why neediness destroys attraction, clarity, and self-respect faster than most men realize. Second, why mastering your mind matters more than mastering any relationship dynamic. Third, how to hold your frame without becoming cold, bitter, or theatrical. And fourth, how to lead your life so powerfully that you stop chasing what was never meant to complete you in the first place. And stay with me until the end, because the biggest mistake most men make is not that they care too much. It's that they build their entire identity around being wanted, then call the collapse love. 1. Stop building your identity around her response. The first mistake is simple, but it destroys men every day. You start needing her response more than you need your own center. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small humiliations you learn to excuse. You check your phone before you check your purpose. You reread messages looking for hidden meaning. You notice you can focus for 40 minutes in the gym, but you can't focus for 4 minutes once her energy changes. Your breakfast tastes different when she seems warm. Your whole nervous system shifts when she seems distant. And suddenly you are not living, you are monitoring. That is not connection. That is dependency wearing a romantic face. And modern society loves this version of you because he is easy to sell to. Easy to trigger. Easy to control. He buys advice, validation, entertainment, distraction. He doesn't build. He reacts. He doesn't choose. He waits. He doesn't stand on values. He bends according to approval. That man is profitable to the world precisely because he is no longer dangerous to it. Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature: people rarely respect what is always available. Not because people are evil, but because familiarity without structure breeds carelessness. The man who always explains, always accommodates, always stays, always forgives, always returns before the lesson lands, he teaches others that his presence costs nothing. And when your presence costs nothing, people consume it carelessly. You've probably lived this in ways you didn't even notice. You cancel your priorities to be available. You answer instantly because you don't want to look indifferent. You say yes when you mean maybe. You say maybe when you mean no. You apologize just to keep the peace. You lower standards you once swore you would never lower. And then you wonder why something in the connection starts rotting. It rots because attraction cannot survive where self-abandonment becomes routine. A healthy relationship is not built on the fear of losing the other person. It is built on two people who know how to stand without collapsing into each other. The problem is that many men were never taught the difference. They were taught to prove, to rescue, to perform, to emotionally audition. They learned that if they just become more useful, more patient, more available, more understanding, more self-sacrificing, then eventually they will be loved safely. But that strategy has a hidden price. Every time you make someone else's approval the source of your emotional stability, you teach your own mind that you are not enough by yourself. And once your mind accepts that lie, you stop moving like a man with a life. You start moving like a man asking permission to feel okay. That shift changes everything. Your posture changes. Your tone changes. Your timing changes. Your decision-making changes. Even your silence changes. It is no longer calm silence, it becomes anxious silence, the silence of someone waiting to be reassured. People can feel that. Not because they have superhuman intuition. Because energy always leaks through behavior. If your day depends on whether one person approves of you, your behavior will always reveal it. You will over-pursue. You will over-explain. You will overthink. You will start negotiating against yourself. And no one can deeply trust a man who has outsourced his emotional balance. This is why the answer is not to become cruel, unavailable, or emotionally dead. The answer is to rebuild your inner world so completely that your peace is no longer rented from somebody else. That very practical things. It means stopping the habit of checking for signs before you check in with yourself. It means not treating every delay like abandonment. It means not turning chemistry into destiny. It means pulling your attention out of fantasy and putting it back into your real life. Wake up and return to your body. Train when you said you would train. Do the work you have been postponing. Clean the parts of your life you keep ignoring. Fix the financial habits that make you feel secretly weak. Read something that sharpens your mind instead of numbing it. Stop feeding the parts of you that need constant stimulation. Build routines that make you respect yourself in private. Because here is what most men miss: self-respect is not a slogan. It is evidence. It is built from repeated acts that prove to your nervous system you are someone you can rely on. The man who keeps his word to himself walks differently. The man who survives discomfort without begging for relief speaks differently. The man who can sit through uncertainty without spiraling loves differently too. And that is where dignity starts returning. Not when someone chooses you. When you stop abandoning yourself to be chosen. 2. Master the war inside your own mind. Most men think their real problem is her behavior. Her distance. Her inconsistency. Her mixed signals. Her tests. Her mood swings. Her silence. Sometimes those things are real. Sometimes they are not. But either way, that is not the main battlefield. The main battlefield is what happens inside you when those things appear. That is where men lose their edge. Not because a woman was complicated. Not because the world was unfair. Because the mind was undisciplined. A man with an undisciplined mind can ruin his own peace in under 60 seconds. One delayed text becomes a private trial. One cold interaction becomes a story about rejection. One disagreement becomes proof that he is not enough. He starts filling in blank spaces with fear, and then acts as if his fears are facts. That pattern destroys more relationships than conflict ever will. Stoicism begins where emotional theater ends. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed by the color of its thoughts. That matters now more than ever, because modern life gives you endless raw material to poison your own mind with. Social media magnifies comparison. Dating culture magnifies insecurity. Endless access magnifies obsession. The machine profits when your attention is fractured, when your emotions are hijacked, when your identity stays unstable enough to keep buying certainty from outside yourself. So no, the first victory is not over another person. The first victory is over your own reactions. Can you feel without obeying every feeling? Can you be triggered without becoming reckless? Can you sit in uncertainty without inventing catastrophe? Can you be disappointed without becoming pathetic? Can you be rejected without turning cruel? That is the test. Not because men should be robots, but because a man who cannot govern himself will eventually try to govern circumstances, people, outcomes, and emotions he was never meant to control. And that is where desperation begins. You've probably seen it. Maybe in others. Maybe in yourself. A man sends a long paragraph he should have never sent because silence felt unbearable. A man asks for reassurance in 10 different ways instead of admitting he has no emotional anchor. A man starts performing calm while privately unraveling. A man becomes obsessed with getting clarity from somebody else because he has none inside himself. This is why stillness matters so much. Stillness is not passivity. It is power under control. When your ego gets challenged, stillness gives you distance. When your fear gets activated, stillness gives you perspective. When your pride wants immediate relief, stillness lets truth arrive before impulse ruins everything. Most men react because reaction feels like movement. It gives temporary relief. It makes them feel less helpless for a moment. But reaction is often the tax you pay for inner disorder. And inner disorder makes you easy to read, easy to provoke, easy to manipulate, easy to exhaust. The disciplined man is harder to shake because he is harder to hijack. He pauses before he speaks. He notices what he feels without becoming what he feels. He does not give every emotion executive authority. That kind of self-command does not come from quotes. It comes from ritual. You build it in boring places. Early mornings. Cold decisions. Missed cravings. The workout you almost skipped. The journal page you didn't feel like writing. The phone put down when your mind wanted another hit of noise. The hard conversation approached without drama. The loneliness endured without running back to the wrong person for comfort. This is how a stronger mind is forged, not in grand declarations, but in private repetitions. Read deeply. Train consistently. Sleep with discipline. Keep promises to yourself. Stop romanticizing chaos. Stop calling your impulses intuition. Stop treating every emotional surge like a revelation. A mature man learns to separate signal from storm. Sometimes what hurts is not the truth. It is withdrawal from illusion. That matters. Because many men are not suffering from love. They are suffering from exposure. Exposure to how fragile their identity became once attention was removed. And I say that without judgment, because many of us were built in environments that rewarded false versions of strength. We were taught to suppress instead of process. To perform instead of reflect. To dominate instead of understand. Then when real intimacy or real uncertainty arrived, we had no interior structure to hold it. So we panicked. We reached. We clung. We acted out. We became strangers to ourselves. That is why mastering the mind is not just about attraction or dating. It is about ending a cycle of internal slavery. It is about becoming the kind of man who can feel deeply without drowning in what he feels. When you become that man, something changes. Your words carry less need. Your silence carries less fear. Your decisions stop smelling like desperation. You no longer chase peace through control. You carry peace because you have built it from within. And people trust that kind of presence. Not because it is loud. Because it is not hungry. 3. Hold the frame without losing your humanity. Now we need to talk about frame. Not the internet version. Not the cartoon version where a man becomes emotionally wooden, theatrically detached, and calls it strength. Real frame is different. Real frame is the ability to remain rooted in your values, your direction, and your reality even when pressure appears. It is not domination. It is not emotional punishment. It is not a performance designed to make someone chase you. It is simply the refusal to betray yourself for temporary comfort. And this matters because a surprising number of men do not lose relationships because they were too strong. They lose themselves because they negotiated against their own standards in slow motion. At first, it seems harmless. You overlook small disrespect because you want to be mature. You explain something twice because you want to be fair. You tolerate patterns that drain you because you tell yourself nobody is perfect. You keep making room for behavior that keeps costing you peace because you are afraid that naming it will make you look difficult. But what begins as flexibility often becomes self-erasure. And here is the brutal part: the more you betray your own standards to keep a connection alive, the less alive you become inside that connection. This is where Machiavelli becomes relevant in a deeper way, not as a manual for manipulation, but as a cold mirror. He saw that power often belongs to the person least willing to betray their own interests under emotional pressure. Most people do not lose ground because they were outmatched intellectually. They lose ground because they could not hold themselves steady when discomfort arrived. The same is true in relationships. If someone can make you abandon your values through guilt, seduction, fear of loss, or the threat of disapproval, then the problem is not their behavior alone. The problem is that your boundaries were never embodied. They were only spoken. A boundary you constantly explain is often a boundary you do not fully believe in yet. A real boundary has weight. It changes what you tolerate. It changes what you entertain. It changes how long confusion is allowed to stay in your life. It changes the quality of people who remain around you. Let's make this practical. If you say honesty matters, then lies matter. If you say respect matters, then patterns of contempt matter. If you say your peace matters, then chaos is not something to repeatedly negotiate with. Holding frame means your life has shape. It has order. It has priorities. It has principles that are not rewritten every time someone you care about becomes emotionally difficult. And yes, this is hard, especially when there is chemistry, history, loneliness, hope, or genuine love involved. Because love tempts men to confuse endurance with virtue. But enduring what repeatedly breaks your spirit is not noble. It is often fear wearing honorable language. You don't have to become harsh. You don't have to become cynical. You don't have to become one of those men who think coldness is wisdom. You just have to become clean. Clean in your standards. Clean in your timing. Clean in your decisions. Clean in your refusal to perform confusion when you already see the pattern. A man with frame does not argue endlessly to be understood. He states himself clearly, listens honestly, and then watches behavior. He does not threaten to leave every week like a child playing with fire. But if something violates what he knows is essential, he is willing to walk, without spectacle, without revenge, without turning the exit into theater. That kind of calm is rare because most people do not leave from clarity. They leave from emotional exhaustion after tolerating what they should have addressed much earlier. Holding frame also means not shrinking your life to make another person comfortable. Your mission should still exist. Your routines should still exist. Your private standards should still exist. Your friendships, your health, your purpose, your relationship with silence, these should not evaporate because someone finally paid attention to you. If they do, then you did not enter love. You entered absorption. And absorption always feels intense in the beginning. Until it starts killing your identity. So audit your life. Where are you over-explaining? Where are you staying too long out of fear? Where are you calling confusion, complexity, because you don't want to face what is obvious? Where have you made another person's emotional weather more important than your inner climate? Ask those questions honestly. Because the goal is not to become harder to love. The goal is to become harder to destabilize. And that is different. A grounded man can be warm. He can be affectionate. He can be emotionally honest. He can care deeply. But he cannot be purchased away from himself. That is frame. 4. Lead your life so you stop chasing what cannot save you. Now we come to the final shift. Leadership. Not leadership over another person. Leadership over your own life. This is where everything changes, because many men do not actually want love as much as they want rescue. They want someone to arrive and finally make them feel complete, seen, important, settled. They want relationship to solve the inner homelessness they have been carrying for years. That desire is understandable. But it is also dangerous. Because when you expect another person to rescue you from emptiness, you will cling to anyone who temporarily distracts you from it. And then you will call that attachment fate. Real leadership begins the moment you stop asking another person to become the architect of your identity. Your life must become led from within. That means your days are not random. Your values are not decorative. Your ambitions are not constantly postponed. Your body is not neglected. Your mind is not left open to every influence. Your future is not treated like an optional project. A led life has force. It has rhythm. It has direction. And direction is magnetic, not because it tricks people, but because human beings trust what is internally organized. You can feel it when you meet a man like this. He is not in a rush to impress. He is not selling himself every minute. He is not trying to win every room. He simply knows where he stands, where he is going, and what he refuses to become on the way there. That steadiness creates peace around him. And that peace is often more attractive than charm. But let's be honest, building a led life sounds good until it starts costing you comfort. Because leadership is not an aesthetic. It is a sequence of decisions that expose your excuses. It is getting up when you said you would. It is fixing the work you keep delaying. It is confronting the habits that quietly make you weak. It is cutting addictions that keep your mind unstable. It is earning your own respect before demanding it from the world. It is also facing loneliness differently. Many men do not chase because they are foolish. They chase because stillness confronts them with themselves. When the room is quiet, when the phone is silent, when nobody is praising them, when there is no one to lean on emotionally, then they meet the part of themselves they have been avoiding. The unresolved grief. The self-doubt. The years wasted. The standards dropped. The dreams buried under routine and distraction. So they run toward romance because romance feels warmer than self-confrontation. But no relationship can permanently save a man from a life he secretly does not respect. At some point, he has to turn around and build. Build a body that supports his mind. Build a mind that supports his decisions. Build work that gives him dignity. Build private habits that reduce self-contempt. Build a spiritual and moral core that does not collapse under uncertainty. This is the kind of work that changes how a man enters every room. He is no longer asking, will I be liked here? He is asking, will I remain myself here? That is leadership. And paradoxically, once a man stops chasing validation, he becomes easier to trust. He listens better. He attaches more cleanly. He loves with less panic. He is not trying to squeeze oxygen out of another person's attention. He is bringing oxygen with him. That changes relationships completely. Because the healthiest love does not feel like rescue. It feels like alignment. Two people walking beside each other, not one person dragging the other toward stability. So if someone enters your life, let them add to it. Do not let them become the whole architecture of it. If they are meant for your path, they will not require you to betray your peace to keep them there. There will still be conflict, misunderstanding, imperfection, ordinary human difficulty, of course. But you will not have to shrink, perform, panic, and fracture yourself just to maintain basic connection. And if you do have to do that, the answer is not to chase harder. The answer is to return to your center faster. Lead your life so strongly that whether someone stays or leaves, you remain intact. Not untouched. Not emotionless. Not unrealistically immune. Intact. Still capable of grief. Still capable of love. Still capable of tenderness. But not broken open at the level of identity every time life denies you what you wanted. That is what strength actually looks like. Not domination. Integration. So let's bring this home. We talked about why neediness drains dignity and slowly teaches your mind to live off borrowed approval. We talked about why the real war is inside your own reactions, and why emotional discipline matters more than controlling any external dynamic. We talked about frame, not as coldness, but as the refusal to betray your own values for temporary comfort. And finally, we talked about leadership, leading your life with enough structure, purpose, and self-respect that you stop asking another person to save you from yourself. That is the shift. Not from softness to cruelty. Not from love to indifference. Not from caring to manipulation. From dependence to dignity. From reaction to clarity. From performance to presence. From self-abandonment to self-command. And if something in you resisted this, good. Because truth often feels offensive at first, not when it is false, but when it threatens a pattern that has been quietly running your life for years. Maybe nobody taught you this. Maybe you had to become useful before you were ever allowed to feel valuable. Maybe you learned to overgive because it felt safer than being rejected. Maybe you confused intensity with intimacy and attention with love. A lot of men did. So this is not a judgment. It is an invitation. Come back to yourself. Come back to the routines that make you solid. Come back to the standards that make you clean. Come back to the silence that reveals what still needs to be built. Come back to the parts of your life you abandoned while waiting to be chosen. Because the man you are trying to become does not begin when someone finally recognizes your worth. He begins the day you stop negotiating with your own. And maybe that is the real secret most people never tell you. The more whole you become, the less you need to force anything. The less frantic your energy becomes. The less theatrical your pain becomes. The less likely you are to stay where your spirit is repeatedly taxed. And from that place, connection changes. You stop looking for someone to complete your life. You start looking for someone who can walk beside a life already being built with intention. That is healthier. That is rarer. And yes, that is more powerful. Not because it gives you power over another person. Because it finally returns power over yourself. If this spoke to a part of you that has been tired of overthinking, tired of overgiving, tired of living at the mercy of other people's attention, then take that seriously. Not as motivation for one night. As a standard. Like the video if you want more writing in this style. Subscribe if you're building a quieter kind of strength, one rooted in discipline, clarity, and self-respect, not noise. And in the comments, I want you to answer this honestly. At what point did you realize you were losing yourself trying to be chosen? Say it plainly. No performance. No masks. That answer might be the first real step back to yourself.